Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kaiserreich. We're playing as the Patagonian Workers Front. We're going to be fighting Argentina soon. I don't know when, but soon. March? Oh, it's the March to December. Okay. So, like, it could happen anytime from March to December. Wonderful. Okay. So, we should probably build our defenses as our next thing that we do. It's kind of not the end of the world if we don't, but... Improve machine tools. Okay. Oh, man, there's lots of people posting on the internet about whether concentrated or dispersed is better. My opinion is, I'm not going to get bombed. Concentrated. Saboteurs successfully infiltrated. Okay. Austria declared war on Hungary. A lot of buttons to press. Okay. We can sabotage in a lot of places. I think sabotaging in La Rioja is probably better. I'm going to hit Mesopotamia next to maybe help disrupt the things for Paraguay. Final act of the 10th International Congress. With all important decisions made during the first week, Congress will move on to less pressing matters. 10 days of negotiations, discussion of politics. The delegates came with one final act, a declaration of eternal brotherhood and readiness to face the imperialists wherever they be found. Proletarios del mundo, unios! Hey, political power. Crisis on the Danube. The contradictions of imperialism are self-evident. Let's see. Probably want to get limited extensive conscription at some point, but whatever. We have Netherlands has joined the Reichspakt. Alright, we did a central construction agency. Now it's time for us to fortify the border. With the enemy's superiority in numbers and equipment, defensive stance is not out of the question. By downing our front line, fortifications, and trenches, we'll make sure that our former oppressors pay a heavy price for every inch of Patagonian soil they try to steal from our liberated workers. Yeah. How much infantry equipment do we need? So much. We're like so bad on the infantry equipment question. How are things going? Excellent. Things did not go well for Bulgaria. That's kind of to be expected. The Panama Canal crisis. Panama joins the Entente. Advanced powers at stake. Xinjiang clique has capitulated. We can press buttons. We can do 2 more infiltrations. Prepare terrorist cells. Let's do it. Let's infiltrate, Tucumán. Our saboteurs were caught. No. We can press buttons somewhere. Improve worker conditions. Yeah, I don't think we need that. Hungary was defeated, predictably. Rise of the Russian state. This might prove a problem in time. You don't think so? All right. Italian state. Okay. Albania lost. They added a limited peace with Albania, where they give up this territory to Serbia, which I don't think happened in our playthrough, because I said, screw it, I'm puppeting everyone. Or maybe it did. I don't remember. Anyways, Venice is fighting the ANI. So, good luck, guys. Button. Great War Infantry. That seems not so great. More button. Alright, other button. Prepare railway sabotage. Let's expand our extraction. Alright. Fortify the border. The Indian Civil War resumes. This shall be a death blow to colonialism. That's optimistic. I would love Communard arms resistance, arms production assistance to liberate Argentina from reactionaries, increase military production, requesting tools and machinery in France. We can ensure a steady stream of guns produced by Patagonian hands for a war effort. That would be pretty nice. We're getting about 7 a day. Irmo declares war in Serbia. Alright, successful infiltration. I'd love to hear it. Improve working conditions is one of those things where it's like, yeah, you know, I don't know if I want to expend the political power. We'll try to infiltrate that last territory. Peru, Bolivian Confederation declared war on Ecuador. That's probably good. Because hopefully it means he'll be distracted. Okay, Indochina lost. That's not good. Indo-Chinese Revolution is defeated. Another nation lost to imperialism. Nicaragua, alright. Stuff starting in Central America, Middle Africa. Okay. Prepare terror cells in Tucumán. I don't know when they're going to declare on me. Alright, successful infiltration. That's good at least. Prepare sabotage in Tucumán, or yeah, I think we do it in Tucumán first. Not much railroad to be sabotaged in either of those places, but whatever. The fall of Delhi. Once again, Delhi has a new master. That's not ideal, but that almost always happens. Okay, so what are our options? Unconventional supply networks. European way of war. Standardizing our tactics. Veteran instructors. Or just get launched into the stratosphere. I don't know if this does anything. Patagonian fishing industry? Does that matter? We could rally the workers. Encourage the unwilling. Get international air volunteers. International air volunteers might be good. Well, the idea of a Patagonia Air Force is presently unrealistic. Our increased contracts with foreign revolutionaries have allowed us to reach out to experienced pilots around the world ready to turn the skies red. Well, these daredevils can not only provide their own planes, having them on our side will deny the capitalists the uncontested skies they're expecting. Do we even have an airbase? Oh, I think this gives us an airbase. Yeah, alright. Gives us exactly what we need to, like, have some air power. Which, having air power is better than having no air power. Mechanical computing. It's actually probably better for us to get radio. The rising sun. Troubling. Assassination of Sanchez Cerro. Once again, the bullets decide the fate of state. Once again, bullets decide the fate of states. Victory on Rio Negro. The northern government now demands we withdraw from the river after recent border tensions escalated between the forces of the Argentine army and the FOP militias. Even though we may not have gained any territorial concessions in the struggle, the action's been a great boost to our morale, as people realize the enemy is not prepared for a full invasion. Onwards to final victory. I need to not let that happen. Slow it down. Okay, great. We do have our forts, which is in our best interest. It's kind of a last-minute decision on my part, but... Ooh, that's terrifying. And also, yeah, okay, definitely was not a smart choice. That's so funny. I'm like, oh, I checked that tile out. Nope. Incorrect. Alright. Maybe speed things up a bit, but I think we are likely to be approaching. A Chief of an Air Force might actually be in our best interest after all, but I'm maybe saving up for a political advisor who can provide a little bit more juice. Whoa! A little bit more juice. Dominion care to declare war on the West Indies Union. How exciting. Yeah, I can maybe speed up again. Buttons! Prepare terror cells. Sounds good. Prepare railroad sabotage. International air volunteers. British industrial assistance. Through the efforts of our laborers, the goal of turning Patagonia into a fully modernized industrial state is finally within reach. The industrial assistance from Britain. With industrial assistance from Britain, this goal should become achievable. It's a little bit of a stretch goal, but actually I don't know about that. I think I probably should get European way of war. Most of our fighters are militiamen and guerrillas without any form of military backgrounds. Well, more than capable of defending our country. Some of our European comrades are offering to help us organize divisions according to a more regular model, integrating more of these veterans to train our militia as well as improve our overall efficiency as well. That sounds good to me. Different stuff. Dispersed operation. Is I think new. Yeah, armor is so funny. Germany defends East Asia. The last bastion of peace or the final holdout of imperialism? Diego Abad de Santillon publishes After the Revolution. The famous anarchist economist and writer, Sinesio Badillo Garcia Fernandez, better known as Diego Abad de Santillon, has finally published in a Chilean printing press what is quickly becoming a masterpiece in anarchist political writing. In the book, Santillon analyzes both countries and explains in detail the steps needed to turn both economies into fully working anarchist states. Well, which is a hilarious phrase. Anarchist state is Anyways, willing to state that a minimal level of control will be required. His writings are one of the first in the history of anarchism to detail an economic plan and will provide very useful if anarchists manage to achieve victory in our country. A fine work, compañero. We are technically getting... that's true. I should probably just grab all-weather expert because we're getting drained on political power. So, I'll take what air power I can manage. We have air forces. They exist. We obviously aren't producing anything. I mean, I could go elite special forces. Specifically to give myself organization, but I think it's probably better to save up. Alright, justification of war goals. Argentina is justifying against us. Expect the inevitable. Patagonian resource exploitation completed. Oh, nice. We're going to get to Supply Hub pretty soon. Standardizing our tactics, veteran instructors, unconventional supply networks. The way we fight means the revolutionary soldiers often find themselves outside of anything resembling a conventional supply chain. By setting up forward supply caches ahead of advances and training our fighters to do better forward supplies behind enemy lines will vastly improve our overall supply situation. Seems pretty reasonable to me. A button. What button can we press? Expanding food production? Why, I'd be happy to. We do actually maybe have better supply now. Yes, we do. What if I went here? Yeah, we can actually defend our full territory now, which is more than we could have said before. Now, in theory, we can do that. In practice, I'm not sure, but we'll try. It is 37. Ugh. I don't really know if I have great options in terms of anything. At some point, getting logistics is probably good. Sure. Argentina has declared war on us. Okay. Now, I'd be happy to have the have our buddies join in. I think, like, just doing a standard layout is probably fine. I think we need to launch our terror and railway bombing campaigns immediately. War in the Southern Cone. We'll increase our speed to 3. Chilean-Argentinian War. Tensions have been running high between the two regional powers for years now, as the ideological differences drove the nations further and further apart. Support by Argentina for the FOP in Patagonia, and incapacity of Argentina to quell the rebellion finally come to blows. A joint offensive by the Argentinian army and Armada was met with heavy resistance at the Rio Negro, with Chilean forces opening fire on avenging Argentinian troops. Argentina will be reunited. Alright, we'll let them, strike us first, and then we'll strike them. Yes, volunteers, please give us volunteers. Please, 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 for the love of all that is good and beautiful, give us volunteers. Can I hit anything? This has one fort that is not defensible. This has nothing. This has... What if I just did this? And... What if I just did that? What I would love to do is get a surround here. And I think that it is quote-unquote in character for Nestor Makhno to lead from the front. I mean, that's part of the reason he ends up dying in real life. You can try to hold the line there. Please stay where I told you to stay, Mr. Makhno. Monsieur. Desert, that's hills. You should do that. Venice has been annexed, that's unfortunate. Unconventional supply networks. Nice. Okay. Now what we really want to do is trap the Argentinian army up against the Chileans and crush them, thereby allowing us an easy breakout. Now, are we there yet? Not quite. Are we getting there? Why, I think we are. Why? Bam, and also, bam. You two. Though you may be weak as a baby, you have the goals. See. Tension between anarchists and communists. A few anarchist officers have reported today that they've been harassed constantly by some officers of the communist faction. However, when interrogated, the communist officers claim the anarchists were the ones harassing them. Presented plenty of evidence and witnesses. While we have separated their platoons for now, this is not an isolated incident. We've received other reports across the front line of each side seemingly trying to hinder the other when not in combat. We'll have to keep an eye out. Hey, unconventional supply networks. We should probably get to... I don't know if any of these are super important. I think right now I'll take a British industrial assistance. Maybe we get standardizing our tactics, very decentralized nature of our own force situation where each squad has its own tactics and methods, and sometimes they aren't even that organized. Unpredictability is its advantage. We should at least standardize our army tactics to the point where our officers can at least predict their comrades' moves they're expected to make. The thing I should probably do is this. And I think I should probably get is logistical focus. It's either defense, which is fine, or logistics, which is also fine. Okay, several things are happening. Number one, you go here. Number two, you go there. This is a mountain. That is a hill. When there's a problem, you should blame skill. Alright, we have friends arriving in all the right places. The Franks are here? Oh my gosh. Alright. Friendly fire! Tragedy struck today as a battalion of our frontline troops clashed with another one of our own. The gunfight was rather short, because they were able to quickly realize they were all fighting on the same side, and they noticed the ragged uniforms and outdated rifles. The small skirmish left 5 dead soldiers and about a dozen wounded. Unsurprisingly, one of the battalions is led by an officer affiliated with the Communist Party, carried other by a well-known anarchist, while the investigation by both sides is being carried out to figure out which is the guilty party for such a mishap. It's clear that both sides are pointing fingers at each other. Attempts at objective investigation is becoming harder by the day, with the families of the dead asking for justice to be delivered. The chairman will need to make a decision on the matter. Anarchist officers at fault. Communist officers at fault. Remove both. I mean, I am going to side against the anarchists in favor of the communists for reasons of I'm trying to make Indonesia and you need to be totalist to make Indonesia. Spoiler alert. I love like weird monkey noises soldiers make. Alright. Ooh, that doesn't form an airtight seal. You can halt. You can halt. And you can assault. I had assumed that did form a seal, but it does not. Frack. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You go to here. You go here. You go here. You go here. Here's what's gonna happen. You are gonna strike here. You are gonna strike here. The anarchists complain. Di Giovanni has come to Puerto Madryn on the front lines to complain personally about the blatant favoritism towards the communists in the front lines, citing several incidents that have happened during and after the fighting where government has done little or nothing at all. Given the recent instances in fighting, and the front line between the two protests has not come as a surprise. And while Soto has given him all the assurances he can give an anarchist comrade, it unfortunately means this one our forces may be weaker than we thought. This doesn't bode well. How are things going? We probably could just do that. I just did this. Meh. Alright. Material support cancelled. I'll go capture Bahia Blanca and come back. Oh, wait a moment. Oh, great, the Germans are here. Okay, United Mexican States of Yucatan signing a Uruguay peace agreement. We think they're awesome. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Anarchists expropriate a farmstead. Uh-oh. With our pushes being received rather apathetically by the majority of the rural population, we're faced with several issues in the occupied territories that may change the situation for the worse. Today, an anarchist column broke into a farmstead, tied up its inhabitants, and robbed them blind. Farmstead break-ins and robberies are no novelty in Argentinian countryside, and some of the original members of the Patagonia strikes, like Alfredo Fonte, are well-known homestead robbers. However, while the practice may not be uncommon, it damages reputation with the civilian populace, which might steer us as nothing more than an outgrown gang of thieves. We'll have to take measures. We keep the rural population open to the idea of our takeover. Who do they think they are? Imprison the soldiers for insubordination. Alright, how are we doing here? Let's crush these guys. I would like you to finish moving. That would be so nice and good and awesome. Well, that'll do too. Nice. Okay. Bunch of stuff is happening. All right, you. Ugh. Where do I need a commander? I guess like here. You can stay where you are. Okay, several things are happening. All right. We're in a sort of silly place. Metal. Reduce supply consumption, more division, organization. I feel like org is just like busted strong. Several things will happen. Okay. You guys be in command here. You guys should be in charge on this front line. You can also be in charge of this front line. Like that. Okay. And then everyone else be here. And you should be in charge there. I think? Maybe here? Maybe move here. Uh-huh. Okay. What are you even doing? Don't do that. Go here instead, please. You can go here, go here. You can go here. Okay, that's fine. Irmo was annexed, as you would expect. Text. You go here. You go here, and then go here. You. Yeah, that's fine. It's Imro. I made that mistake before, not Irmo. Imro. Paraguay declares war on Argentina. That's good news for us. Even if they don't last very long, which I have no idea how long they're going to last. I hope they do well. You know, like... My brain is like, alright, send in Nestor Machno. And I'm like, that's not how it works. No, Nestor. I know that's what he did in real life. But that's also why you died. I mean, he didn't die in combat, but he sustained like an insane amount of injuries, which, yeah. You know, not necessarily super great. Okay, Peru-Bolivian Federation declares war on Paraguay, as you do. Oh, I don't like how hard this is being. How much guys do I have? In terms of guys, I have none. None guys. Okay, communists proposed the installment of political commissars. After a few episodes of small-scale desertions, communist factions proposed they introduce political commissars to the front lines for all units. These officers, elected among a list of party officials for each battalion, in charge of making sure no soldiers are harboring hidden sympathies for their action areas. Well, communists have been using these methods since before the war even began to come to friction with other factions. With tensions running high, some believe this is the way for the communists to start purging the opposition before taking over. Then again, desertion of conscripted locals is becoming even more normal. This proposal would be handy to ensure the loyalty of our troops. We'll have to secure the troops' loyalty if we hope to win. And with that, I'm going to say I'll see you in the next episode Bye bye.